Hello and welcome to Filling the Sink, a podcast from Catalan News. My name is Beth Cohen and today we'll be talking about Catalonia's summer music festivals. Every summer, Catalonia hosts a wide range of music festivals, from large international events in Barcelona to smaller coastal concerts. On this week's podcast, we offer a guide to what's on and discuss Sonar+D, a technology festival at the forefront of musical innovation. Joining me in the studio today is Cillian Shields. Hello, Cillian.
Hey Beth, how's it going?
Great, thanks. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Happy summer, happy music festival season.
It's my favourite time of year.
Oh yeah, no, me too. I have to say, big fan. I usually go to at least one of the biggest ones in Catalonia every single year. I suppose my first years living here, I'd go to Primavera Sound most years, and now I've sort of evolved slightly going into more Sonar every year nowadays.
So, Cillian, can you tell me a bit more about the big festivals that are on? I mean, you've already mentioned Primavera Sound. There's also Vida, Cruïlla.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, that's the best place to start, I suppose. Primavera Sound, very eclectic mix of different genres, different styles. Honestly, like, you can get absolutely something for everyone here. This year, the biggest acts have taken a more pop party flavour. So you've got Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX, Chapel Rowan, some of the biggest names really in pop music at the moment. But on top of that, you've got everything from LCD Sound System, Jamie XX, Beach House, Haim, Floating Points. I mean, so much more. Every genre is catered to. Moving on as well then, Sonar is probably the second biggest music festival in Catalonia. That's taking place in mid-June, June 12th to 14th. This is mostly electronic music, and usually it's got like a little bit of a flavour of rap or hip-hop in there as well, but definitely electronic is its main genre. Artists like Peggy Gou, Nathy Peluso, Fortet, Honey Dijon, Overmono, Bicep, Skrillex. I'm looking forward to that a lot, I have to say.
It's your thing, isn't it? And in Sonar, don't they divide between day and night?
Yeah, precisely. So it's kind of like two festivals. Like you can pay for tickets just for one of them and go to the day session between like roughly 2-3 p.m. until about 10-11 p.m. But then there's also the night session, which then begins more or less the same time that day ends and finishes at around 6 or 7 a.m. So, yeah. It takes a lot of stamina, I have to say.
I would definitely be a day person, I think.
It's great to enjoy the sun as well with some of these amazing acts performing as well. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm.
And what about Vida?
Yeah, Vida, it's mostly sort of indie rock kind of vibe, down in Vilanova i la Geltrú. This is actually a bit of an outlier in terms of Catalan festivals in that it's one that you'll stay over in, it's one that you'll camp in, as opposed to Primavera Sound and Sonar, which is you go to your own homes or accommodations afterwards, you can have a shower.
Shower and get changed, not camping like in Glastonbury.
No, but I think Vida, it's quite small scale. It's nowhere near the size of Glastonbury or anything. Only 25,000 people went to it last year. There's facilities there. It's not going to be overrun. It's a nice vibe, I got to say. I suppose the last big one to mention would be Cruïlla, taking place mid-July, July 9th to 12th. You got a huge mix here. It's quite cool. You got pop, rock, hip-hop, reggaeton, and it's by and large sort of divided by the day. Now, there is obviously some overlap, but, you'll have one day that's a little bit stronger on one genre. So, if you're a particular fan of one style of music, maybe that's your one day to go, and that's great for you. Some kind of cool names playing. Sex Pistols in their current 2025 guise. Gracie Abrams, Alanis Morissette, 30 Seconds to Mars, St. Vincent, Kaiser Chiefs, and Seu Jorge also playing, which that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. And Cillian, these festivals are big. How big are we talking in terms of numbers?
Yeah, so Primavera Sound is definitely the biggest. Last year, it had 268,000 visitors.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a lot. Sonar, second biggest, 120,000. And obviously that's divided by day and night, like we mentioned. The day had 54,000 and night had 66,000. And day is over 3 days, and there's only 2 night sessions to give you an idea of what's happening there. And then Cruïlla, 77,000.
And then, of course, there are the smaller or more family-oriented festivals. There are a lot of lovely venues up along the coast in gardens. So we've got the gardens of Cap Roig with the Cap Roig Festival. There's the Alma Music Festival, the Sons del Món.
Also the Festival Castell de Peralada, up at the Peralada Castle. That's a lovely scene for a cycle of concerts as well.
And how about other concerts taking place this summer?
Yeah, so as ever, there's some huge names coming over for one concert in Barcelona, Catalonia this year. Like, wow, we've got an amazing selection this summer. Names like Guns N' Roses, Billie Eilish, Imagine Dragons, Robbie Williams, Weezer, Jennifer Lopez, Kendrick Lamar, that's one that I'm going to, Kendrick Lamar and SZA, July 30th. I'm very much looking forward to that. Blackpink, huge in K-pop. There's also Amelie Lenz, techno DJ. This one's really interesting. She's playing in a new venue that's going to be inaugurated that day, September 21st, called La Mercedes, which is in the former Mercedes factory in Sant Andreu. So that kind of sounds pretty cool.
And last but not least, and it doesn't really warrant including in the Summer Music Festivals podcast, but I have to say it anyway, Lady Gaga is coming to the Palau Sant Jordi in October.
She's too big a name not to include, even though it's not summer. She's playing 3 nights, October 28th, 29th and 31st. That's going to be a hell of a show.
Celebrate La Castañada.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Maybe we can show her the Catalan traditions, the chestnuts and the muscatel.
So to kick off the festival season in style, our colleague Gerard Escaich Folch has gone to the opening of Primavera Sound. Let's hear from him what's happening.
It's only 9 p.m. here at Barcelona's largest music festival, Primavera Sound. It opened doors just 5 hours ago, around 4 p.m. And as you can hear to my right, I have a stage full of music, of electronic music. To my left, I have Cupra stage by the sea with country music. In front, I have people wearing green for Charli XCX. Her latest album, Brad, featured the color green. And to my back, I have a large Primavera Sound logo with like lighted letters that go up and down.
Love the city, love the festival, and I needed a break, you know? Needed to wind down a little bit. So love coming here just to have fun, let loose a little.
This is Charles from Cambridge, who partied a lot at Primavera Sound. He's already an expert, having attended the Catalan Music Festival back in 2022. He only had one artist in mind, Charli XCX. Unlike him, many more. Phil, Isabel and Stephen were all wearing a Brad t-shirt, honoring Charli XCX's latest album. And I guess you came just to see Charli?
One of the reasons we're here, but the biggest reason.
All 3 days. We're here all 3 days. So yeah.
Chapel Roan too. We're there to see her.
So, for those who have never come to Primavera Sound, it's a large area at Parc del Fòrum, by the sea, next to the Port del Fòrum area as well. And there are 14 different stages. And the main ones are Estrella Damm and Revolut. And at the moment, I'm walking from the main entrance to those stages. And I'm accompanied by thousands of people walking on the same direction as I'm going, all wearing pink, green, and black. A lot of people wearing black. Anya Norla, from Derry, Ireland, that's supposed to celebrate our colleagues' Lurgan heritage, he would be very happy, they say Anya Norla, that the event is much better this year.
Lineup's definitely better this year, yeah. We were here last year as well.
Everybody,
the Powerpuff Girls, of course. But Charli XCX tonight will be amazing.
Eli and Leia are some of the few Catalans at Primavera Sound that I ran into. Is it your first time at Primavera Sound?
For me, yes. No.
And when did you come?
I went last year to see Lana Del Rey.
And why did you decide to return?
Because I like a lot of the headliners. I like Sabrina Carpenter and Chapel Roan.
You are the very few Catalan-speaking people that I found in the festival. Do you feel like home, or is it completely like if you traveled abroad?
It's weird because I feel like I'm abroad and I know I'm here in my city, so it's weird because you don't hear people speaking in Catalan or Spanish. It's just English.
Well, it is indeed like if it was traveling abroad because everything's in English. Most of the messages written are in English. There are also some in Catalan and Spanish, but what you can hear is obviously English. English is like probably the work or the go-to language in this music festival here in Barcelona by the seaside. And yeah, but aside from Chapel Roan, there are some people who are coming to see other singers, such as FKA Twigs.
I've preferred older lineups, not gonna lie, but there are definitely some good artists this year. Very excited to see FKA Twigs.
By the sea, with plenty of music and great weather, make a unique combination, or at least Phil, Isabel and Stephen from Vancouver agree with.
No, it's incredible, the fact that it's seaside and just everything that's going on and everybody's dressed up, really committing to the theme. It's an incredible vibe so far.
Do you think that if Primavera Sound was to take place anywhere else rather than Barcelona, would you still go?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great festival, yeah, 100%.
When did you buy tickets?
Ooh, like December?
You did ask her.
I bought it from someone on Reddit. I thought it was going to be a scam, but it wasn't, so that was good.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a long Thursday afternoon here at Primavera Sound, and I discovered a lot of new artists that I really liked, a lot of songs, a lot of music. So after a long afternoon, I think I'm heading back home, getting some rest, and getting ready to come back tomorrow for another day of Primavera Sound here in Barcelona.
What great festival vibes. Thanks to Gerard for bringing us that report. So moving on, Cillian, Sonar+D is a festival that runs parallel to Sonar, but what exactly is it?
Yeah, so it's a technology festival, basically. Sonar has this other side to it that's very much at the forefront of new ideas, new technology, very cutting edge. It's a space in between technological innovations, music, and even at times like philosophical reflection. As ever, as for the past 10 years, artificial intelligence is at the forefront of all of the ideas that Sonar+D is exploring. AI is very omnipresent in our world now, like pretty much everyone has it in their phone or they check ChatGPT, in many cases every day. But really at Sonar+D, thought leaders in this industry have been sharing ideas, experimenting and learning from each other about artificial intelligence already 10 years ago. The programme this year is structured around 3 thematic axes. Those are AI and creativity, which proposes alternative tools and approaches to AI in artistic production. We've also got imagining the future of creative industries. And this aspect sort of brings in the industry to it all. It kind of it becomes a meeting point between artists and people who could potentially finance their projects. It's a space also to reflect on the changes and opportunities in the sector, essentially. But then also the last axis is worlds to come. And this is an exploration of the emerging scenarios that will define the relationships between technology, culture and society, which obviously is becoming more and more intertwined, more and more intermeshed every single year that goes by.
And what activities will take place in the programme?
Yeah, so concerts within Sonar+D, there are some performances, but I wouldn't really classify them as concerts per se. There's a lot of exhibitions, really. Like you'll be able to go around from stand to stand and almost like a fair. People will be displaying like their installations that they have. As well as that, there's going to be a lot of interactive forums, roundtable discussions, masterclasses even, performative conferences, workshops, like I said, multidisciplinary shows, and dozens of projects on display.
So kind of like a trade fair for experimental music.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it, yeah.
And it sounds like the overall purpose would be to stimulate contact between people who research and develop the AI tools and then those who actually apply them to music.
Very much, yeah, just a meeting point for all actors in this field to come together and share ideas.
Cillian, you spoke to some of the researchers, musicians and performers who'll be exhibiting at Sonar+D, as well as Sonar+D's director, who explained the event in more detail.
My name is Andrea. I am the head of Sonar+D. It does have the shape of like a conference because, of course, we host conferences and master classes and panels, and we have this exhibition area. But it truly is like an event like no other, where you can be attending like a conference, but like in a stage that's meant for musical performances, and you can have also like big researchers in the big multimedia stage, where we put the researchers in the position of maybe like a rock star, you know, to present their findings, because our main goal is to spark conversation between the attendees and the participants, and between all the communities that attend Sonar+D. Because it is an event where you meet people that you don't meet anywhere else, where you can literally be in touch with a researcher, software developer, an artist, a cultural manager, the director of a museum, a representative from a public institution, and absolutely everybody makes sense there. Like nobody is out of place if you're in Sonar+D.
I'm Jordi Pons. I'm a researcher working in music technology. I'm at Stability AI, where we develop technologies for artists, for musicians. There we do, for example, things like a stable audio, where you can, given some text, you can generate some music automatically. Actually, 10 years ago, when I started doing my research around artificial intelligence, back then it was not that trendy. Maybe you know the works by Brian Eno. He was doing generative music, so the same kind of things now could translate, or similar things could translate to current generative AI, where you, instead of having an album that is rendered in one way, it's an album, you release this album as a generative AI kind of medium, which actually can, every time you listen it sounds different, right? So you have this notion of generative AI as a medium itself. So these are interesting uses of AI in the realm of music creation, for example. Actually, as I was saying, I'm a scientist, so my contribution is in this realm, in the realm of papers, analysis, and trends. So actually, one of my main frustrations was that, I see many people like me who are developing tools for musicians that are a little bit disconnected from the artistic practice. So I really wanted to bridge this gap and try to understand how artists are in fact using our technologies, the technologies that we develop as like researchers and so on and so forth. So actually I'm right now collecting all the works using artificial intelligence for music to try to figure out which are the trends, how people are actually using those tools that we are developing for their artistic practice.
I am Yolanda Oriz. I work with smell and sound and technologies, digital technologies. My background is in music and sound, and then slowly I was interested in how to perceive sound with other senses, using tactile sound or visuals, and then I got interested in smells. It will be an installation. It will be a kind of machine for the telecommunication with plants, basically, using smells. So you will be able to smell what plants emit, and then you will be able to send also olfactory messages. And those messages are kind of care messages, because it will be only substances that are really beneficial for the plants, just to kind of balance a little bit all the mistruck and misuse that we've been doing to the environment. And then also there will be gas sensors translating all the data that is happening in the air into sound, because we might not be so accustomed to make use of this olfactory language, so maybe we are more used to sonar, to sound language. So then it's easier maybe for us to understand what's happening between the plants and us. It's a kind of machine that it has a emitter where you can smell different substances, and then you can decide which one you want to send as a message. And then with tubes it will arrive to plants, actual plants. And then in the receiver there will be some tubes from plants that there will be fans bringing air to you, so you can smell their words. It got started with my experiences with synesthesia when I was a musician and improvising, and then I wanted people to experience also to see what I was seeing.
I'm Albert Barqueduran. The artistic name is albert.data. And I'm a researcher and an artist based here at TIAS Lab, Interactive Arts and Science Lab. So this June I'm premiering my new project called Synapticon, and it's a project that experiments with 3 different dimensions or 3 different fields of research. One of them is called neurohacking, and right now what we are developing is a technology capable of doing something that is called speech decoding. And I'm going to try to explain myself as best as I can. So we have an EEG cap, an electroencephalography technology here, and this reads and gathers data from my brain doing a very specific task. And all this data is then decoded into natural language, into text. And once we have all this decoded speech, we use this text as prompts to generate audiovisual content. My goal here, my proposal for the live show, for the performance, is to be on stage with this device, this interface, and be able to direct, in a sense, a whole audiovisual performance just with very specific mental states, without using any motoric skills, in a sense, not pressing any button, just with my mental states. It's a mix of discussing internally all the ideas behind this concept of the Synapticon, which is related to an old-fashioned concept that Foucault introduced called panopticon, which is about control and surveillance that is so embedded in our structure as society and dynamics that we forget that we are in constant control and surveilled. The idea of the Synapticon is like the next step. We've been talking these last years of a digital panopticon, how all the data that we generate through IoT things, Internet of Things, biometrics, algorithms, social media, etc., is already a way to be constantly controlled or monitored. And with Synapticon, it's like a step further. It's like when all these technologies are not extended and they are more embodied, then we are reaching this extremely dangerous moment of full, complete disintegration of mental privacy. So I'm using this project also to do some activism about things that right now I know that they feel very sci-fi in a sense, such as neural rights. But I think it's something that we need to start discussing as soon as possible before it's too late. Right now, all the gadgets that we have, algorithms, are detached a tiny bit from ourselves. They are what we call extended technologies, and it could be, for instance, just the smartphone. The very close future is to start embodying all these technologies. So they are not longer extended. The moment that they are more incorporated, more integrated into our bodies, which is the next step of technology, this opens the whole dynamics, structures, economies of neurotechnologies. We know that it's going to happen, so let's start discussing as soon as possible the implications, what are the regulations that we should start implementing right now, 2025, although it seems that it's far away. That's why I really feel that things need to be done right now.
Thank you to everyone who spoke with us. Cillian, what Albert talks about is fascinating, and it's also quite sinister. I feel like the phrase, keep your thoughts to yourself, is just about to become obsolete.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I found this absolutely fascinating, like you said. I really, really enjoyed talking to Albert. I found it really intriguing because I do really understand where he's coming from. And he's, at least what I've seen, he seems to be a bit of a lone voice, kind of raising this alarm at the moment. Like technology is developing at an alarming pace, obviously. And like it's very likely that within our lifetimes, some sort of technological and humanistic singularity comes about. And then, like, yeah, I mean, Albert's thinking about the repercussions before anybody else is, at least. And, well, I was only too delighted to talk to him and too delighted to share his ideas on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. So, Cillian, AI and music, I mean, that's been a relatively big thing in news cycles about the evolution of AI in recent months and years, and it's not really received the best of publicity either.
No, exactly, you're right. But it's really worth mentioning that what's happening at Sonar+D is absolutely not the same thing as this AI-generated music, which is so often criticized for being a substitute for creativity. What we're talking about here, these are AI tools being applied to music creation. The artificial intelligence is being used as a tool in the creative process. It's not a generative substitute. I think it's actually better thought of as another instrument. And it's also not one that's really just widely available to anybody who wants to click two buttons and then bam, you've got a song made. No, this requires a high degree of understanding of what you're doing. It's not really user-friendly, shall we say.
Mm-hmm. An instrument. I like that definition. And I guess for better or for worse, it's an instrument that's already changed the face of contemporary music beyond recognition. Well, that's almost all we have time for today. But before we go, it's time for our Catalan phrase of the week. Cillian, what do we have today?
This week we've got fer ballar el cap.
To make someone's head dance. What does that mean?
Even though it sounds maybe nice, it's got a bad connotation. So to make someone's head dance, per se, would mean to like exhaust them, to wear them out, or to annoy them. Maybe a little bit more closer to make someone's head spin, possibly, in English.
So this summer, don't make people's head dance. Fer ballar el cos, make your body dance. Or fer ballar els peus, make your feet dance.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't annoy people.
Up here for thinking, down there for dancing.
This week on Filling the Sink, we've been talking about Catalan summer music festivals. Thank you to everyone who spoke with us, and thanks to Cillian for joining me here in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a great summer dancing at those festivals.
Absolutely.
That's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe to Filling the Sink wherever you get your podcasts if you haven't done so already. We'll be back again next Saturday with another exciting episode of Filling the Sink. On behalf of all the team here at Catalan News, I'm Beth Cohen, wishing you a great weekend. Fins aviat. Adeu.